Good morning, everybody. So welcome to our very first webinar. And it's really new for Wesley Training, let alone business partners. Not just this webinar, but also working from home as well. I think a lot of you are getting used to speaking to a camera or working in your home. Right now, we have a great turnout. We have 25 people in this webinar, and most of you are from Wesley Training. So just welcome, and it's good to see you in this format. What we're going to do today is we are running a webinar, not a web meeting. And there's a key difference between a webinar and a web meeting. So if you've used your Skype video over the past few days as you're working remotely or your teams are remote, generally you'll have a chat, and that is a web meeting. So there's a lot of interaction. Everybody can see everyone else. But what we have here today is a webinar where interaction is minimal, I guess. But there are different tools that we can use. And I really want us to think about this platform from a training point of view. Web meetings versus webinars. So web meetings are usually for smaller groups of people or teams. This week I used the web meeting with 5 or 6 people, and it was really good. Once we got to around 10, it was really hard to control the environment and talk to everyone. So web meetings are a lot smaller, webinars are a lot bigger. And as I can see in terms of attendees, we have 30 people logged in right now for this webinar. And that's really good because we had a registration of around 34 people. So we've got a few people logging in right now. And usually webinars are used for hosts. So you're hosting an event, a large scale event. The platform that we're using here that Wesley Mission has allowed for us is Zoom, and Zoom allows for up to 1,000 people to join this webinar. So just quickly, as an introduction, I have met most of you, but some of you I haven't met before. So my name is Sam Yip. I manage the team called Wesley Training Business Partners, which is a team that sits within Andy Moore's portfolio, which looks at training and partnerships across Wesley Mission, and also training and partnerships in community as well. At the same time, I also work at Wesley Mission as a chaplain, reporting into Rick Dacey. So I have 2 jobs. So there are 4 aims to this webinar. This is an internal webinar, so I'm speaking to you all as colleagues. So please forgive me when I stuff things up. And this is a new platform, so we're all learning together. But there are 4 aims. Firstly, I want us to be familiarized with the Zoom platform. And I can see in the chat box on the right, Madison has said, is it Madison? Someone said that they're new to using this or have no idea of using this. So this is your chance to use it. Yes, I can see you writing that. Familiarize yourself with Zoom, not just Zoom, but just generally video conferencing, speaking to this screen, knowing that there is actually other people at the end of the line. I also want you to be familiarized with Zoom. I think this is the platform that we are set to use as Wesley Training moving forward, especially in this environment. I want you to think about this platform, and I want you to think about this webinar, and think hard about your own departments and your own teams. How can you apply this with your teams if you're training one another? How can you apply this platform to the products and services that you have? And how will your clients really take this on? Today we are learning about financial literacy, and this is a program that is for the community. So hopefully you get something out of this for yourself and also for your clients. And finally, you are all here. All 30 of you are here to help test this platform, and I thank you very much for this. So testing the platform, but also testing the format of this program. So I'm aware that some of you have done the In Charge of My Money program, but this is a webinar format that has never been done before, so it's fresh. Just letting you know, with the platform here, with Zoom, you can you can chat. So if you look at the panel below, you'll have something that says mute or a few other things like that, participants, Q&A, polls. There is a button there that says chat. So please take the time to look at that function, click on chat, and you can, the chat box will come up and you can type your communication there, and all participants and attendees can see your comments. And as you can see, the Alex, Jennifer, Di, Tammy, Jackie, Melanie, Maria, quite a few of you are on that chat. And part of this webinar will involve a bit of interaction, and we'll be using that chat as interaction. So please take your time right now to open that chat box. And for some of you, that feature is at the bottom of the screen. For today's webinar, I want you to think about the video quality, because some of you will be using this platform. So just thinking about, am I clear? Thinking about the audio as well. So do you hear me clearly when I present? I can access group audio, but I think we have too many people on the webinar, so I won't do that because it will probably melt down. Lag and internet quality. I am presenting this at home, full disclosure. It's very stressful at home at this time, so I'm sure it's stressful for some of you as well. I've got 2 young kids. They're behind doing their schoolwork because they can't go to school. So I apologize if there are any weird sounds that come about. But lag and internet quality, we have pretty good internet here, NBN, here at Burwood, New South Wales. Wherever you are, I hope you have good internet as well. Camera positioning. I'm actually using a external camera. I'm not using the camera on my computer. It's an external webcam connected, and I actually have a green screen on the back, which I can change the backgrounds. And this is really important when we're thinking about our clients, and we don't want to be presenting in our pajamas in our bedroom. We want to have a professional product and service to deliver to the community. Slide animations. So there are animations that happen, and I want you to jot down if any of the animations are choppy or lagging or don't occur. We'll be doing polls, and these are really fun, where I will be interacting with you and putting up surveys, and you can actually answer the surveys real time, and we can share those ideas together. We have a Q&A module. So we have the chat module and question and answer module, which you can use. I encourage you for this webinar to use the chat module because I'll be monitoring that throughout the webinar. The ability to have a conversation. So right now I can see that a lot of you are having a conversation on the chat, which is really good. There's also options to talk in groups, in breakout rooms, which I won't do for this webinar, but for future ones we can. The ability to ask and answer questions. So please use the chat. This is also a test for me to see if I can actually present this and also interact with you with the chat. Comment on the quality of the slides that I show. And we'll be showing video, video with audio. I want to know if it's clear and if it is engaging. And finally, how did you feel overall as a participant? So let's get started. So what we want to do first is I want to think about, I just want us to share which part of Wesley Mission do we represent. So I'm going to put up a poll, and I would like you to vote. Wow, there are a lot of opportunity pathways people on this webinar. So we have 27 out of 28 people voted, and I will end the poll in yes, represent, Vic. There's one more person that hasn't voted yet. So I'll give you 10 seconds before I close the poll. Okay, so now I've just shared the poll results. So you can see that on this webinar, we have 59% of you are from Opportunity Pathways. We've got 22% of people, so 6 people from Lifeline or Lifeforce. We have 1 person from Central Unit and 1 person from Other, and 3 people from Business Partners or HIPU. So today we're looking at the In Charge of My Money program, and it's a program that's been really successful in the community. We've run this in correctional centres, as most of you know, the HIPU program, where we teach basic money management skills to inmates as they consider and as they plan for their release. We also have a migrant and refugee version of the In Charge of My Money program, which was sponsored by Suncorp. And that is a program that works closely with Multicultural Australia in Queensland, working with new migrants and refugees from specific areas around the world. So the program has been contextualized for them. We also run this program in alcohol and drug centres, so day program, alcohol and drug centres and residential alcohol and drug centres. And it's also delivered to job seekers. So most of you would know that, whether it's OP, whether it's WVI, the job seekers get a lot of benefit from the financial literacy program. And finally, we have a partnership with AGL. So AGL, the energy and gas company, have partnered with Wesley Mission to deliver the financial literacy program to customers who are at risk of losing their electricity because they don't pay their bills. So they've targeted specific areas around New South Wales, and we run the In Charge of My Money program in the context of energy. And today's webinar, which I'll be delivering, will be that AGL webinar. So In Charge of My Money and My Energy. I want to show you a bit of a quick video about the program.
The In Charge of My Money program is a simple money management program. The types of people that do our program are the marginalized communities. This includes the people in drug and alcohol centers with addictions, including gambling addiction. And there's also people who are at risk of homelessness and women who are in domestic violence relationships. So it ranges, it's people who are really at risk in many ways. The most rewarding thing about doing this program is that it changes lives. It provides people with a lot of hope, and also knowing that there's help from organizations to help them to lead a different life and go on a different pathway. And I think that has been the most rewarding thing, changing the lives of people that we touch. Since winning the award, our program has increased in demand. We've had to train up more financial counselors. It's gone into regional centers, and it's increased beyond our expectations.
So you can see that that was done a few years ago, and you can see some of our characters there. Maisie, who used to manage the financial literacy team, which is now being managed by Jackie Floyd. And we also won an award. And the key to this whole program, as you just heard, is that it changes lives. And when we think about all of those areas that we run this program and many more, it changes lives. So just to let you know, we are also working on delivering this program to youth and also those who are going through gambling problems as well. So how are you feeling about money and finances? So this is a check-in. How are you feeling? And it's a good time to ask yourselves where you stand, especially with all the changes that are happening. Now, the polls that I'll put up are all anonymous. So I can't see how you answer I can't see the individual attendees and how they answer. So please feel free to answer these in a way that is honest, because I can't see it. So how are you feeling about money and finances? And I'll launch a poll for all of you to answer. So the first question is, how confident do you feel in your ability to plan for your financial future? How open are you to doing anything differently after completing this webinar? Don't worry, it's anonymous. How satisfied are you with how you cope with your current financial situation, and what motivated you to sign up for this webinar? And I can see in the chat that Mary McNamara said, okay, till my superannuation took a dive. And that is very true. I'm feeling that as well. Sarap, yes, you can only choose one answer. Okay, so I will end the poll right now and share the results with you. I can trust that you can see the results now. So the confidence about ability to plan for our financial future, a moderate amount. So we are feeling in the middle, most of us. How open are you to doing something different? Well, that's a great result. I'm sure we all want to learn something from that. How satisfied are you with how you cope with your current financial situation? So most of us are satisfied, but you can see that there is some dissatisfaction that we are feeling, especially in this environment and this time. And what motivated us to sign up for the webinar? And very good, wanting to understand the web platform. And for those who joined a bit later, this is internal, so please forgive me if I make any hiccups, but this is really for us all as a team to be familiar with the Zoom platform, and also dream, think about how you can apply this to your clients and your programs. So financial stress. Financial stress is not just about money. It impacts a whole range of things. Your work. If people are stressed financially, they may reduce their hours, or they may look for more hours in order to compensate for their financial stress and bills. It impacts us mentally. And for those of you on the webinar who are from Lifeline and from Lifeforce, I'm sure you know this very well. And I just saw an article that was released, I think, a few days ago, saying that because of COVID, there was a big spike in Lifeline calls where people mentioned COVID and also mentioned financial stress as well. Physical. We all know that when we're financially stressed, our body takes a toll, and so do our emotions. And this impacts the way we live and enjoy, and our recreation is impacted. There's a high level of anxiety that people feel when they're financially stressed. and it impacts relationships. And as people work from home during this COVID period, you can see that stress, not just with finances, but relationships is key. It's a key issue. And sleep. We all hear stories of clients, we know people, even ourselves, where we are stressed about our finances and we can't sleep. So what causes financial stress for those in your community? So I'll launch a poll here, and I want you to think about your specific area, your clients, and what is the leading cause of financial stress for them. I think it's very true, Jennifer. You wrote, if it isn't the most stressful financial time for us as Australians in our lifetime, don't know what it is. The impacts to so many of our family and friends is just so overwhelming. And that is very true. Very, very true. And it's unexpected, isn't it? Especially for those who, who haven't, who never, actually, we never saw this coming really. But what's interesting was that the markets were at the all-time high back in February, and now they're at the all-time low. Okay, so the poll will close. So for those in our communities, not being able to meet daily living costs seems to be the biggest cause of financial stress, followed by job security and losses. And I'll share those results for you. Okay, so Jacob has said, I don't think I can see everyone's comment on this chat. Okay, on top of the box where you type message here, there's something that says to, and you can change that to say to all panelists and attendees. So at the moment, if you just have all panelists, then only I can see it. So please change that to all panelists and attendees. Sorry about that. That's something I should have told you to do from the very start. Thanks, Chloe. So just all panelists and attendees. Great. And we're in interesting times. I want to show you a video that Wesley Mission produced in 2013 about financial stress. The video goes for around 6 minutes, 7 minutes.
It's something that there's been warnings about for a very long time, that we live to the income that we have, that we spend quite often more than we've got coming in, and that if there was going to be a downturn in the economy, then people would be in financial difficulties. And of course the downturn has now come, and people are now beginning to face the issue that they are losing jobs and that they can no longer meet the payments that they expected to be able to meet.
We've slowed down a lot. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Never been this bad, really, in a long time.
We haven't been affected directly yet, but I guess we've got a bit of a background concern in our head at all times.
A lot of people probably think that as financial counsellors we are seeing mostly Centrelink people. More importantly, yes, we are seeing people who are on good incomes, excellent incomes, but their level of debt is just high.
It's certainly increasing with the fact that people are losing their jobs, they're losing casual employment, they're losing overtime, and so they can't meet the repayments and things they had before.
Our clients usually come in at what I call the brick wall stage. They will go ahead and pay for like rent and maybe all their bills and petrol in the car, and the last thing that they do is whatever money is left is what they will go and buy their groceries with.
Sorry, that was my stuff up. Now I'm learning I shouldn't click my computer while this goes on.
And maybe all their bills and petrol in the car. And the last thing that they do is whatever money is left is what they will go and buy their groceries with.
People are finding it tough emotionally, mentally, you know.
Especially as, you know, the provider for my family, I definitely feel stress, you know, whether I could, you know, keep my job.
It puts a huge amount of stress on relationships, marriages, couples, blaming each other quite often for the situation that they're in. But when it comes to finances, that can be a catalyst to actually break the relationship down completely.
With the stress and the blame, then quite often people think that it's easier just to separate and walk away, and then they don't have to deal with the financial mess.
Not realising quite often that getting out of it is often worse than it was when they were together trying to work on it. It puts a lot of stress on children. Children do sense that there are issues, and quite often they don't know what the problem is. The signs of people suffering from worry and concern about their financial difficulties varies quite considerably. It can go from a person almost shutting down and just not able to face the situation at all, to them trying to do something about the situation but not knowing what to do.
We see quite a lot of people who are depressed, very depressed.
People either say they can't sleep, or they just sleep all the time. They don't eat at all, or they overeat.
You can tell that they're stressed. They don't want to meet your eyes, they don't want to look at you.
They have stomach pains, they get colds, surprisingly. They get a cold or sinus problems, and all of these sort of physical things will affect people when they're really stressed about finances. Suicide is a major problem for people in financial difficulties, especially these days when a person can't see their way out. I am hearing about clients who are saying, I just can't go on, and my family would be better off without me. Or they are such a waste of space, they are so useless that the family wouldn't have to be worrying about this useless person. That's the sort of the thoughts that come through from people who are suicidal.
No, I've never needed advice. I've always been able to manage my money.
Yeah, if we're in financial trouble, we definitely, you know, seek some help from somewhere. Yeah, I think you have to. It's just all part of being responsible, you know, for yourself and your family.
Not everybody can afford to go to a counsellor, and not everybody can know which counsellor to speak to or trust.
For somebody to seek help is a very, very difficult thing to do.
People fear their sense of failure. They feel ashamed to be seeking help or assistance with their financial issues.
Then to have to say to somebody, I can't manage my money, is a very hard thing to do, when sometimes money is the only power that people have.
So there's a lot of people out there trying to seek help but don't know how to go about seeking help.
If somebody does come to see a financial counsellor, they think they're going to be told what they have to do, and of course that's not what financial counselling is all about. What we hope to be able to do is to give each person a number of options. We would like them to have 2 or 3 or more options if possible, and then say to them, okay, these are the options that you've got. If you choose to do this, these are the consequences. So what would you like to do? The aim for every financial counsellor is to have spending money for that family and to have savings. And if we're trying to work out a payment plan for creditors and we have no money in there for personal spending, things for the children, it's going to fall over. Our services are free and they're confidential, and if they don't want us to disclose any information to various people, then we don't do that. Clients come in for help from a financial counsellor quite often a little bit too late. We want people to come sooner rather than later. How do you find out where a financial counsellor is? There are financial counsellors in every state of Australia. There are websites. put financial counselling or financial counsellor into the internet and you'll find a financial counselling service. And if the situation is such that you believe that you've got too much to carry, that's when you need to look at it and think, well, what can I do about it? Can I do anything? And quite often you can.
So really with that video, I was very touched by the video, first of all, because it was done in 2013. And if you look at the characters in those videos, they're not just characters, actually, they're actual real people that are probably feeling the financial stress today. I remember you got this family here. He said, oh, the downturn's coming, and the downturn in 2013 is not like what it was this week. And then that small business owner, did you see that? She was sitting at a cafe, she runs a cafe in the city in one of those little kiosks, and I'm pretty sure she's got no business today. I know a few people that have gone to the city for work and it's empty. So financial stress is a real issue for all people. And if you remember our financial counselor in the video, she said, people think that financial counselors just see Centrelink people. No, they see people from all walks of life, because all of us can be financially stressed at any time, especially now. And exactly, Maddie, do all the good you can by all the means you can, because every life matters. And you can see that's the picture of the corona and the markets, which an indicator of financial stress in the community today. So hopefully this webinar is timely for you personally and your families, and also for your clients. And the program is called In Charge of My Money. And a lot of us have talked about the financial literacy program. How do we be financially literate? Let's get our clients to do the financial literacy program. Financial literacy is a term that is not widely used in the community. It's used by banks. It's used by us at times. And that's why our program is called In Charge of My Money. Are you in charge of your money, or is money in charge of you? So it's a very simple program. And if we can help our clients, and if we can also help our families just be that one step ahead, to be a little bit more in charge of your money, then that's a great way forward. So the model for the In Charge of My Money program is built around 5 key areas. First of all, we want to talk about our relationship with money. We all have a relationship with it, similar to how we have relationships with people. We want to understand our scales. Do we have balanced scales? This is talking about how much money comes in and how much money goes out, and is that in good shape? The core of being in charge of your money is saving, and it's the attitude of saving, not the amount, but the attitude. We also want to think about the money leaks. So these are the little bits of money that just kind of go out without us knowing. And finally, getting access to safe support. And as you saw in that video, financial counselors are a very safe place to go if you or your clients have problems with money. And there are also other places to get safe support as well. Are you in charge of your money? Have a think about this. I don't pay bills on time. I don't have a savings account that's separate from my main bank account. I'm an impulse buyer. I've got credit card debts, payday loans, Afterpay, Zip Pay, consumer lease agreement. So that's your radio rentals, state debt. If I couldn't pay my bill on time, the first thing I would do is borrow money from friends, family, from money lenders, or simply ignore it. Hear no evil, see no evil. How about budgets? Do you have a budget? And if you have problems with money and debt, you don't know where to go. I'll put up a poll now. Which will allow you to answer these questions. And it is anonymous. And if you don't, if you don't really need have the reason to answer any of them, then don't answer it. This is a check that we use for clients to see if they are financially stressed in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Okay, so not everyone needs to answer this. Yeah, so just Di, you said, yeah, just close the box, or I'll end the poll anyway, so I'll stop it there. So impulse buying, okay, that's one of the big ones amongst us. If 12, yeah, a good number of us are impulse buyers. And I can think from my marketing days, that's the sort of result that I want to see, but not anymore. That's not good. So let's think about our relationship with money, because the way we spend money, the way we keep money, the way we use money, give money, it's all tied back to our relationship with money. And I want us to think about money like a person. We have relationships with each other, with other people. Sometimes they hurt you, sometimes you hurt them. And money can be the same thing as well. Sometimes it hurts you, sometimes you can hurt it. And I want us to think about the way money makes you feel. And there's also a physical reaction when we see money. So how do you feel when you see these coins? And you can use the webinar chat. You can just put in one word if you would like. When you see coins, how do you feel? In the jar, Jacob, yes. Fine. Excellent. I like a lot of your responses. I'm sure you can see them all. I like Mary's one. Use hand sanitizer. Absolutely. A lot of you said coffee, and we'll think about coffee later on. Okay, how about this one here? A $20 note. One word or a few words. How do you feel when you see that $20 note today? I think lobster, Jennifer. Yep. It's gone cheaper now. Excellent. Don't touch it because of Corona. Okay. Tap and go only. Okay. How does this make you feel? Brad, Disneyland is closed. Okay. So you can see with the coin, with the $20 note, with the stack of hundreds, we have lots to talk about because it makes us feel different things. And we're also influenced by the sayings that we have about money. So growing up, I want you to think about what you heard from others, maybe from your parents, from your carers, from your friends, from your aunties and uncles, from people on TV, from rap stars, pop stars, colleagues. what are some sayings about money? And just type those into the chat. Save, save, save. Can't take it with you. The Dolomites. I'll just put a few up there. I'm not made of money. Doesn't grow on trees. I had one growing up, which had a massive impact on me. Funny enough, my dad used to say, when you need to buy it, buy it. Make some interest. Save from a young age. Holiday. I'm going to have issues with our slide here. Okay, so always use cash. From your first job, save half, spend half. So if you look at these sayings about money that we have up there, they either fall into two categories. One category would be spending and the other one would be saving. So are you a spender or are you a saver? So you can see saver, save, but that's sort of spend actually. So I'll undo that one, half and half. Can't take it with you. That's could be a spend. Dolomites. Save from young, doesn't grow on trees. Be smart. Can't afford it, well, not made of money. A lot of saving ones, and then you've got some spending ones here as well. And when you have more than enough, you can be generous with it too. Very true. 50-50, that's another one. So hopefully you can see the draw function that I just used and the typing function. Are you a saver or are you a spender? And how has that impacted your financial situation today? So vote away. Okay. Poll closed. Share results. Very close. So we have half of us are spenders, half of us are savers. And you can see how that classification of yourself is generally impacted by how you were taught and the voices that were speaking to you as you grow up. So now we understand that there's a relationship that you have with money and it impacts your spend. I want us to think about having balanced scales. Balanced scales are all about how much money is coming in minus how much is going out equals the level of your financial stress. This is where we think about ourselves and others who live beyond our means. And this is what it looks like to live beyond your means, to have more expenses than the income that comes in. What are the signs that you or others are living beyond your means? First of all, no savings, or you are just right on the wire. Increasing debt. And I want us to think about debt in I guess, a very 2020 way. You don't just have credit cards and loans. You've got your Afterpay, you've got your Zip Pay, you've got all sorts of different ways and mechanisms to accumulate debt. But is your debt increasing? Are you accessing cash advances or payday loans or borrowing money from others or borrowing money from unreputable sources? Spending. And not just spending, but are you not spending in a smart way? So when was the last time that you thought about specials, when you looked at a catalog, when you planned, where you thought, I can put this off for a few more weeks because it's going to be on special at that time. So being a smart shopper and overusing credit cards. Signs you are living beyond your means. And this is what we want, at least as a base level, your income to match your expenses. And this is really important. We run this program in community, and a lot of people that we are working with, they're in such financial strife because the income that they have is nowhere near the expenses that are going out. And when you put in addiction and you put in other things as well, expenses just keep weighing down and it compounds. And in some of the HIPPO work that we do, these scales have been so out of whack that people have turned to crime. Therefore, they're in jail and they're doing our HIPPO program. And sometimes in community, we see also that people are quite stressed, and it's really a scale. So this is where we want to be, at least. But the secret sauce to this, these scales, is what I've just shown there, month or fortnight. So a lot of people are really confused with what comes in and what goes out, because things come in at different times and things go out at different times. So some clients we work with, they have Centrelink every fortnight. They have their job that comes, their job money that comes in every week. And then they get a parenting payment or some sort every month. And then with expenses, it's all over the place as well. So you have your daily food, then you might have your monthly phone charge. At the same time, you might have a quarterly electricity bill. But your electricity bill then is calculated on a daily basis. So there's a lot of confusion. So what's really good is not knowing what comes in, what goes out, but then having a consistent scale across your finances. So start with what comes in, from where. So this program normally is delivered across 2 days. So we would spend time with clients or you doing a budget, looking at all the places where you get income, whether it's from Centrelink, whether it's from your job, whether it's cash, whether it's seasonal, where. List out the places where you get your income and how much. When. So that's the scale question. And it's great to be able to come up with one big number to start off with. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know, my job is seasonal. I don't know how much I get tomorrow or next week. It fluctuates. Well, what we say is think about what comes in consistently and start off with that one big number which you can bank on. And we do the same with what goes out. to where, how much is going out, when, and have one big number to start off with. And when we think about expenses, it's important to think of them with the lens of needs versus wants. And here at Wesley Mission, we don't want to go out there and determine what people's needs and wants are, but it's quite helpful to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. So you have your physiological needs: air, water, food, shelter, the basic things. Then safety, so your security, employment, resources, your health. Love and belonging, so your friendship, your belonging, your family, relationships. Esteem, sense of self-worth, status recognition, respect, freedom, and then self-actualization, so moving forward to think, the desire to become the most you can be. And when we think about needs and wants, sometimes your needs are someone else's wants and your wants are someone else's needs. But really what we want to do here is when we're thinking about our expenses, just have a think about how you could categorize what you spend on. And then think really hard about the base level needs and wants, especially with that physiological element. Air, water, food, shelter. So having enough money to pay your rent or your mortgage, having enough money to feed you and your family, and also thinking about what sort of food you have out there that's available. Takeaway is a very big expense for a lot of people in the community, and it's not cheap. We were speaking to a family who told me that they couldn't afford to spend to feed their children because dinner costs $70. And I asked them, I said, well, what do you mean $70? And they said, well, with myself and my kids, so 7 of us, dinner, McDonald's, $10 each. 10 times 7 is $70. Once again, for us as Wesley Mission workers, we can help people understand that there's another way to spend money when it comes to food. You don't have to go to McDonald's and spend $10 each. So how are your scales? Does your income match your expenses? Do you have a consistent scale when it comes to knowing what comes in monthly, fortnightly, weekly, and what goes out? So let's do a survey together. It's anonymous. And I'll launch that for you now. I'll give everyone another 30 seconds to complete the poll. Okay, let's end the poll and look at the results. Okay, a 75-25 split for us who know our income and expenses and know maybe unsure. Budget, well done. A lot of you have a budget, but how often do you review your budget? It seems to be a quarterly or a weekly thing for most of us, or a monthly thing. And do you stick to your budget? Sometimes it's hard to stick to a budget, but that's really promising. That's really good for all of us connected on this webinar, because we do all have an income from our work, and it's important to budget. Okay, so we understand what it means to have balanced scales, and when the scales are not balanced, it causes financial stress in various ways. We want to think about the attitude towards saving and money leaks. And what are these two elements? They essentially are good, positive money habits, positive money habits that we can have to be a little bit more in charge of our money. And I want us to think about it in this way. Positive money habits. How can we be more in charge of our money leaks? How can we be more in charge of our bills, and especially our electricity bills? And how can we be in charge of our savings? So money leaks. What are money leaks? And I think that's a great image. They're like a leaking tap. And if you've ever experienced the tap in your house and the bucket underneath, eventually the bucket becomes full and there's a significant amount of money or water in the bucket. So money leaks. What money leaks are there in your life? And I want us to think about in the home and outside the home. There are leaks that happen outside the home, such as buying soft drinks, maybe buying coffee, maybe it's online Uber Eats. However, that is essential now, I guess, since you can't sit in a restaurant. Takeaway. And there are many other money leaks that are outside your home. So I'll give you a moment to think about what sort of leaks do you have in your life that are outside of your home. Sort of let you know if you can hear some interesting music in the background. Please let me know, and I'll adjust my microphone because my neighbor has just come home with his car. I think he's very bored being at home. All right, good. Okay, money leaks outside of the home. Now, money leaks in the home, and these will be pretty much your bills. And it's interesting, you know, back a few years ago, our bills would simply be electricity, water, gas, internet. But now you have other bills like your Netflix or your Stan or your Foxtel Go or your Spotify, things that just recur. And they don't even look like bills. They just sent into your email or they just shot into your PayPal. So there are money leaks that happen inside your home. Or KO, yes. Calculating a money leak. Let's calculate a money leak together. I'm going to put a poll and you can vote on which leak we will calculate on. Okay. Online streaming and subscriptions versus takeaway food. Okay. Let's do one on one of them. So I trust you can see my Excel spreadsheet. Takeaway food. So actually we'll do the first one, which is online streaming. So let's have a look at this one here. So first one, when you think about your Netflix or your Stan, there are generally different types of plans that are available. So you've got your base level plan and you have your super HD plan that allows you to do 20 devices and all that sort of stuff. How often do you actually use all the devices at the same time? How often do you actually use HD? Can you even tell the difference with the screen that you have? So that's one of the leaks that we've heard about in the community. And I think it's probably around $6 extra a month. So that's $72 a year. That's just for one. So you can save $72 a year. Sorry, hang on. Just by downgrading your Netflix to be at an appropriate level of your usage. It's not a lot of money, but remember what we're talking about here is money leaks, because that 72 is just for your Netflix. On top of that, we can add your coffee. So I'll put 72. So $72 a year saving for your Netflix. So we're not saying don't have Netflix, we're saying just downgrade your plan. Coffee, very big one. A lot of people have coffee, 2 coffees a day. Who has 2 coffees a day? A few people want to admit to 2 coffees a day. I do. Sometimes people would spend $4 per coffee. So $4 for your coffee. So each day you're spending $8. If you do that 5 days a week, so just on your work day, it's $40 a week. $40 a week, if you do that every week, is $2,080 a year. Now that's a lot of money. And I think Brad has a good one. $1 coffees at 7-Eleven at Caltex. So you can cut down on that. So let's take Brad's idea of $1 coffees. And what we want to do with our leaks is we don't want to eliminate them. We can, but we can also reduce them. So let's say with coffee, instead of buying 2 $4 coffees at the cafe, they're really $4. It's like $4.30 actually. That's better. Instead of buying 2 $4.30 coffees every day for just during weekdays, you're going to cut down to buy 1 at the store, and then you're going to buy a $1 7-Eleven coffee. So let's remember that number, 2236. And that's what we want to hit and save on. So let's do another calculation. So you're doing 1 coffee from the $4.30 place, and you're buying your second coffee at 7-Eleven for $1. So that's going to cost you $260. So all up, you are spending $1,378. What is the saving? $858 a year. Now that's quite a significant amount of money for 1 leak adjustment. So you're still having 2 coffees a day, but instead of having 2 at a great cafe, you're reducing it to 1 great one 7-Eleven. It is a sacrifice. And if you're really serious about your coffee and you don't want to have 7-Eleven coffee, that money, that extra money that you have can be spent on buying a coffee machine. And that will have a long-term impact. Once again, that's 1 leak. So you save $858 on your coffee, just doing an adjustment. And the adjustment is you're going to do 7-Eleven coffee for one of them, or you just take the money out and just buy a coffee machine so you can have good money. And then a few other leaks that you have. I think it's quite easy for us to all calculate up to $1,000 a year worth of leaks. And you might think $1,000 a year, yeah, that's a good amount of money, but it's still not massive. What I want you to do is to rethink what $1,000 is. $1,000 for many people could be a trip somewhere, a getaway. or it could be, I was going to say going on a cruise ship, but that's not appropriate anymore. Normally with this example, we talk about cruise ships, but your health isn't worth, your health is worth a lot more than $1,000, but $1,000 can do a lot. So money leaks. So once you thought about your money leaks, let's think about your bills. And this is what bill shock looks like. When you get that bill and you just can't believe how much that amount is. And I want us to think about our electricity bills. How much do you think the average Australian household spends on electricity every year? And I'll put a poll up and you can let me know. Okay, so a lot of us think 2,500. So quite on the higher end of the scale. It's 1,500. But this is across the country, and you're talking about a whole mix of different household types and numbers of people. So this is important for you to know, because sometimes on the news, when they talk about average pricing and average amounts that people are spending, they're generally thinking about $1,500 a year, which is $375 per quarter. But I was going to ask you, are you below or above $365 a quarter? I'll pull another poll for this one. So let's think about your own. This is confidential, anonymous, sorry. Where does your bill stand versus the average $365 a quarter? Okay, so we have a mixed bag of below, close, and above. And I can see Sarap, she wrote, she usually pays $500 per quarter, but the last one was $650. And it's important to know that we all have different households. So this is what's going to help you. The average annual electricity bill in Australia, based on the number of residents. So if you're a one-person resident, 1,273. If you have 5, 2,264. And that's where that 1,500 kind of average overall came from. And if you think about the age group, what does this tell you? It says the older you are, the less energy you spend. So if you think back to your household, think about the age makeup in your home. And for those of us who are in New South Wales, we pay more for South Australia, sorry. So if you're in South Australia, you're paying $1,759 average electricity. Sorry, Beth. Yes, I was thinking of you. So where in the home, what's sucking up all of the electricity in the home and causing you to pay so much? So the average Australian household energy use, 40% is being taken up by heating and cooling, aircon, heater. But then 21% is water heating. So 61% is all about heating your air and your water. 33% of your bill goes towards appliances. So that includes your refrigeration and cooking. And lighting, 6%. This is one that I wanted to send to my mother. Growing up, it was always, turn the lights off, turn the lights off, turn the lights off. It's only 6%. However, lighting was very different back then to what it is today. And we'll talk about the different types of lights. So actually my mother was correct. But now if she said, if anyone says that, actually my wife says that all the time, turn off the lights, turn off the lights. She's incorrect because it only takes up 6% of our bill. If we turn that into money, based on that average $1,500, just makes it look a bit more real. $600 on heating and cooling, $315 on water heating, nearly $500 on your appliances, and only $90 on your lighting if you're paying $1,300 a year on average for electricity. And of the 33%, which appliances are the energy suckers in your home? It's your TV at 19%, followed by your fridge, freezer, and cooking. Home entertainment, dishwasher, microwave. Generally, these are pretty good now because of the energy ratings. They're made quite well. But really, the culprit in your home is your TV. So how do we tackle this? I think it's important to look at your home in 4 key areas: heating, cooling, water heating, appliances, and finally lights. So with heating and cooling, so in summer, close your windows, your curtains, your blinds. Keep it in, don't keep it out. Use your fans instead of air conditioners. And if you do have an air conditioner, set it to 26 degrees. Even in our offices, I've seen times when the aircon's at whatever, 17 or whatever it is, or very low. The research says and experience says that if you set it to 26, you still achieve what you need to achieve in terms of having a comfortable environment. In winter, be conscious of closing doors, windows, and curtains. I spoke to AGL about this, and they said this is a real big one. We might not think it's very big, but just leaving the door open just resets the temperature again a lot of the times. If you leave it open for even a short period of time. And install LED lights and turn them off when not needed. And switch your appliances off at the wall. That's what someone said in the chat. It does take up money, and I'll show you a chart later on which shows how much this impacts your bill, switching off appliances at the wall. Water heating. Use cold water for washing. Use a clothesline instead of a dryer. Full load before you put the washing machine on. This is a big one. Install a low flow shower head, because the cost savings here are in a number of places. So you're saving costs on your water bill, which is significant. We haven't even talked about that. And you're saving costs on that second part of the pie, which is really big, which was water heating. And consider shorter showers. So for a family of 4, if you change your shower head to a 4-star shower head, you can save $365 each year on water, plus your extra few $100 on water heating as well. When we think about our leaks, we calculated those leaks. You can add this to that as well. When it comes to your appliances, You can think about replacing or reducing. So you've got your TV is the biggest culprit. And we need to think about what energy rating you have on each one of your appliances. This sticker means a lot. And I'll play a video to help us understand how to read these stickers. I don't have the stats here, but I forgot what they are actually, but each star is significant in terms of efficiency. So if you're looking at an appliance that's 4 versus 5 star or 3 versus 4, the gap is very different because each star means a lot. Standby power. So a few of you asked about standby power. How much do you save if you turn things off at the wall? You save money. Not a lot, but you save money. So television, LCD, if you turn it off at the wall, so you don't use your little standby with the little, you turn it off at the wall, you save around $5.26 a year. Microwave, this is a bit impractical. You're not going to stick your hand to the back to turn off your microwave, but if you could, you'd save $6.13. For those of you who play PlayStation and all that sort of stuff, $13.14. If you turn off your PlayStation or your Xbox at the wall. I want you to move down to wireless modem. That's $17.50 to $25.40 a year if you leave your modem running. This also includes printers. So if you have a wireless printer, they generally cost the same amount as well. So just your IT setup could be eating up $80 to $100 a year if you're not turning it off at the wall. Now, look, these aren't big numbers. Sometimes it's not practical to turn things off, but the key here is, once again, we're trying to be a little bit more in charge of our money. Just knowing that you're giving away this money for the convenience of being able to use your remote, that's fine. But it's empowering to know that you are actively giving money away, even if it's only $100 a year. I want to talk about light bulbs. Now, there are 3 types of light bulbs in the home, and they mean a lot for your bill. You have your traditional light bulb, followed by your spiral light bulb, which is a compact fluorescent lamp. So if you think about your usual fluoro lights, but it's just like that, but twirled around. And finally, you have LED lights, and they make a world of difference in your home. A traditional light bulb would cost you $2.50 at the store. The lamp life is 2,000 hours. 1.37 years of lamp life, using up 61.32 kilowatts. So in 1 year, you're spending $20.83 on that bulb. Let's think about the CFL lights. So they cost a little bit more, $6.50, 3 times the hours in terms of lamp life. So overall, annual kilowatts, 21.9. Your annual cost is $8.37 for that one bulb. Let's look at LED. $8.45 for the LED light. You're only using 11.68 kilowatts, and the annual cost is $4.44. This is a bit outdated. Now, LED lights, you can buy them for anywhere between $3 to $5 now. So there's an even bigger saving. And if you look at the lamp life for your LED lights, 15,000 hours. So this here is one thing that we encourage you and our clients to change in the home. Install an LED light bulb. And when we run this program in the community, in conjunction with AGL, they fund Wesley Mission to buy LED light bulbs, and we give all of our participants light bulbs. And I say at the end of the program, if you got nothing out of this program and all you did was go home and stick in your new LED light bulb, that's great, because you're going to be one step ahead in terms of being in charge of your money. That's going to save you money. And all you've done is just do that. So LED is important. So if we think about our home, heating, cooling, water heating appliances and lights, I want you to think about how, where in your home are you eating up the most electricity? So is it your bedroom, your kitchen, your lounge room, your bathroom, or outside? So which room will you target first? And which room needs a change of light bulbs? I know some people, their homes, in the renovated part of their home, they're using LED, but in the old part of their home, they've still got the old light bulbs, or they've got a stack of old light bulbs in their cupboard, which they continue to use. Don't use them, just chuck them out. You'll be better off just going to buy some LEDs and putting them in. And in charge of my bills. So how do you approach bills? We talk about 3 ways to look at your bills. Firstly, to know what's in your bill, do something about your bill, and then review your bill. And I want to talk specifically about electricity, your energy bills. What sort of meter do you have in your home? And this is really important to know, because this will impact how you pay for your electricity and how much your electricity bill is. Okay. So I end the poll there, but you can see that a lot of us don't know what sort of electricity meter we have. Now, in the Zoom system, you can put your hand up to speak, and I have Michael Aber who has put his hand up and he wants to talk, so I can unmute him. So Michael, you can talk. Okay, I think he's gone shy. Okay, nope. Okay, Michael's quiet. Okay. What meter do you have? This is important because this determines how they calculate your bill, whether they give you an estimate or they actually give you your actual meter read, because it does cost a lot of money to send someone out to your home to climb your fence and read your meter. And when you look at your bill, I want us to think about 3 ways to approach your bill. How much, how heavy, and how come? How do we do this? How much? How much do you owe the energy company? How heavy? And this is really important because this shows where you sit in comparison to other similar households in your area. And once you know whether or not you're paying more or less, I think in the chat there, Sarab, you mentioned you're paying a lot and it changed suddenly between one quarter to another quarter. This area here is key to understanding your change. And then thinking, how come? What I mean by this is to look at your energy plan. a lot of people don't know that they have peak, off-peak, or shoulder plans. Some people think they have peak, off-peak, shoulder plans, but their actual plan doesn't allow for that. Some people think that their meter is accurately read when it's not, because you don't have a smart meter. So really, we need to think about how much are you spending, and if there's a discrepancy, how heavy, how much are you using, and how come? What plan are you on? How do you pay your bills? So doing it, pay it on time. And there are a lot of on-time benefits, such as discounts for some of your providers, and AGL does offer that. Direct debits are really important, because now we know that if you don't pay your bills on time, they can report you to a credit agency very quickly. So direct debit can help you from that. And if you're worried about that, then generally the energy companies are able to calculate at the end of the year the correct amount that you've used in the whole year, if there's any discrepancy. Bill smoothing is another option, which I'll talk about, and installments. Bill smoothing, what is it? So bill smoothing works by spreading your estimated yearly energy costs over smaller and regular installments. This is so you don't get bill shock. And if you think of your clients, and if they get bill shock, encourage them to call up their energy company and ask for bill smoothing, so they can actually plan how much money they're going to spend on electricity every month. And they can bank on that, and it helps them plan. Bill smoothing. There's also hardship programs that people can be connected to. There are various tools that are online that you can use to track what you're using or what you're not using. And if you have a smart meter, sometimes your tools on your phone can tell you your energy suckers in the home. And then finally, thinking about a better deal. And yes, Bethan, you have to do this for all your bills, because you pay more than everyone else in South Australia. AGL has a hardship program called Staying Connected. Just talking to colleagues now, all of you, when we deliver this program, it is sponsored by AGL. The people in our cohorts, they don't have to be AGL customers. We're just using AGL as an example, because most energy companies would have a hardship program. So the key point here is connect to your hardship program.
Staying Connected is AGL's program for financially vulnerable customers. It's really a partnership with our customers, where we ask them to commit to the amount that they can afford, whilst we work with them from an energy efficiency perspective to try and bring their energy costs down. If an AGL customer is experiencing financial hardship, or even just difficulty with paying their bill, we want them to give us a call. It's always different in each customer's scenario, so we want to have a chat with you to make sure that we get the right solution for you.
So this is really something that you could do with your clients, is to say, hey, let's, even now, because you can't see, maybe you can't see your clients face to face, maybe you're looking for little projects that you can do with your clients to help them at this time. Maybe you can have a little project where you say, let's think about your energy. Who do you have your energy with? Is it AGL, Origin, whatever? And together you can look and try to find their hardship program, call up the hardship program together, or get them to call up the hardship program and get themselves on that hardship program. And you can actually ask not just for things to do with the bill, you can also ask for things like, hey, how do I be more energy efficient in my home? And they'll say, do LED lights. And you can actually ask, can you send me some LED lights so I can get started on this? And they probably will. AGL have branded LED lights, so it's a bit of marketing for them. It doesn't cost them that much. And you can just ask them, can you send me some LED lights? Tammy and I visited the AGL call center and their hardship team a few months ago in Melbourne, and we were impressed. What they say is they want to cut the red tape, and they just want a conversation. The thing that energy companies are most scared of is where they supply energy, you don't pay the bill, and they don't hear from you. They'd rather hear from you. So get your clients, even if it's yourself, call up and just say, hey, how can I improve? And they have a lot of things that they can do. And red tape is something that many of them have done away with. Okay, so financial support and assistance. So you can see the AGL website, staying connected. You can see, you can connect on the website. More time to pay. They'd rather know if you don't want to pay, if you can't pay in time. There's concessions, rebates, grants, and you can do bill smoothing online. Your My Account, you can see everything there. Maybe you can get your clients to set up their online accounts. And this is one thing that I found really useful. At the start of the year, I made sure that I had all of my account login details and passwords in one place. And I went in there and I assessed the different plans that I was on when it comes to my energy, my water, my insurances, and that's something you could do with your clients. Get the energy application on your phone. Once again, it's being connected to your spending. And AGL offer energy insights to show you an estimated breakdown of your energy usage across 12 categories. And these are the 12 categories that we looked at before in terms of energy suckers in the home. And here to help. So there's elements here that talk about concessions and grants. Can you apply this to other bills? Yes. So with clients, you can say, let's have a try with your energy bill. And then if that goes well in terms of calling up a hardship program or trying to get some assistance, you can say, how about we call up Optus and see what we can do there, or Telstra. So let's look at your phone bill. And you can do this with all their bills and all your bills as well. It's the same process of knowing it, knowing what you're paying, doing it. So actually doing the paying or calling up the provider, and finally reviewing it, making sure you have a good deal and what you're actually and that it actually fits in with your current situation. And finally, in charge of my savings. Why should you save? Well, savings is the basis of everything we've talked about today. When we talk about our scales, if you're not saving, your scales will generally not come back into alignment. But it's not really about the amount that you save, but it's about the attitude of saving. And a lot of you would know SMART goals, and you would do that with your clients. So just thinking about saving in a smart way: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And because it's about the attitude, not the amount, it means we can think really innovatively about the different methods that we can have. And as you can see here, there's a Coke bottle one where if you fill up a 1 litre Coke bottle, you've got $1,500 in there. Some other innovative ways that I've heard would be the ruler. So getting a standard size ruler, putting blue tack, little dots of blue tack on your ruler, and saying, every day I'm going to put 50 cents. I want to put 50 cents on that ruler. And eventually, after 6-7 days, I'm going to have $4. $4 is not a lot of money, but once again, it's the attitude, not the amount. And when you come back to what we looked at the very start about our relationship with money, it's our attitudes and our relationships that have actually caused a lot of financial stress for us. So just getting started with a SMART goal, even if it's saving $4 in a very fun, innovative, measurable way, that's a great place to start. And we strongly encourage that. And for Wesley Mission, if you do this program in person, we would give you a Wesley Mission money box, which you can start saving in. And if you put $1 coins in that money box, eventually you'll have a good $500 or so, or $300 or so. And safe support. So once you've got these good money habits going on, you're addressing your leaks, you're in charge of your bills, you have started to save, where do you go for support? And a lot of people in the community would think of places like My Budget. They would think of places like Cash Converters, Cash Stop, Money Train, Money3, Wallet Wizard, Signo, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And it's important to ask yourself, where would you go to get safe and good support when it comes to money? Places where they have your good in mind. And if you look at all the places I've mentioned just then in terms of say, support, supposed support, Money Train, Cash Stop, all these places, you don't realize the names of these places are all about quick, fast money. Money 3 sounds like money free. Wallet Wizard, because he's a wizard that can just make money appear. Nimble, very quick and small, quick and nimble ways to get money. Money Train, Cash Stop, because all your problems stop right here. So there are a lot of places out there, and I would say it's a very hostile environment where people are trying to prey on those who are vulnerable and make it worse for them in many places. So the big question here is, where do you and your clients go for safe support when there are money and debt problems? First place, contact a financial counselor. Wesley Mission has financial counselors. And you can call the National Debt Helpline, 1-800-007-007. And we call this the James Bond number, 007-007. This should be the first place that you go to get any help when it comes to debt. And when I said Wesley Mission has financial counselors, they are attached to this 1-800-007-007 number as well in some way. But call that number. And I must say that it's such a popular number that it might take you 5 minutes to get through or up to 50 minutes to get through. The key here is to know that it might take a while, but persevere, because once you get that, once they pick up the phone, you'll be speaking to a qualified financial counselor. And you also get access to lawyers as well, so legal access. So let's say if you're in relationship debt, or your client is in relationship debt, where they had a debt put into their name when it shouldn't have been. When you call this number, you can explain that to the financial counselor, and the financial counselor would then connect you to their colleagues who are in the legal team to be able to look at your situation from a legal point of view and work that way as well. First place to go is not My Budget or Cash Converters. It's the National Debt Helpline, 1-800-007-007, financial counseling. How about your bills? Where do you go? Yes, sorry, Jackie said financial counselors are free. Yes, financial counselors are absolutely free. They have your good in mind. Bills, what do? Reach out to your provider. The one thing we have learned so far in terms of working with AGL is this: they just want to talk to you. They want to talk to your clients. Just call and explain things openly. Whether it's AGL, whether it's Optus, wherever it is, call and encourage people to call and explain the situation and ask for solutions. AGL 1300-659-925, they want to hear from you. What happens when you call your provider? And here's an example of what happens and how to do it.
Yes. Hi, I'm having trouble paying my bill, and I was wondering if I could speak to someone about some assistance, if I could, please.
Okay, no worries. Before I transfer you, can I ask who I'm speaking with?
Robert Delgado.
Thanks, Robert. Am I able to get your address, please?
It's 9 Toffee Street here in Melbourne.
And your date of birth, please?
4th of the 7th, 74.
I'm just transferring you through now.
Hi, Robert. I understand you're looking for some assistance with your bill?
Yeah, look, some things have come up. Sorry, I wasn't able to pay the last bill until the end there, and I'm going to struggle to pay the bill that I just got yesterday. I thought it'd probably best to give you a call.
Yeah, certainly we can help with that. To make sure we come up with the right solution for you, I'd just like to ask you a couple of questions so I can best assess your needs. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Right, so looking at your average cost of your electricity, you're using $60 per fortnight. What kind of payment plan were you looking to set up today?
I couldn't afford 60, but per fortnight, yeah, I could do $40 a fortnight.
That's fine, Robert. Would you like me to set that up for you now?
Oh, you can do that now. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
I'm just doing that for you now, Robert, and I can see here that all your concessions are up to date and you also received the full $600 utility relief grant in July.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, thanks for that.
Okay, and I can see that we've already spoken with you about the Best Energy Plan and we've had a chat about how you can reduce your energy usage. How's that been going for you, Robert?
Yeah, that's great. My last bill certainly I noticed was a lot less than the one before, so those tips were great. Thanks heaps for that.
You're welcome. Now that's all done for you. We've now entered you into our hardship program and just wanted to let you know that we're going to put a hold on the payment of your arrears for the next 6 months.
Oh, Phil, that's a great relief. Thanks for that.
No problem. And over the next 6 months, we'll work with you to help to reduce your electricity costs to what you can afford.
Oh, great. Great. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for your help.
And we'll be in touch to give you an update about how you're progressing towards reducing your energy costs and make sure your payment plan is still suitable. Please give us a call if your situation changes and you need to review your payment plan.
Yeah, sure. I'll be sure to give you a call. Thanks very much for your help today. Great. Bye.
Okay. I like that video because that man reminds me of a lot of our clients. I don't like the lady with the that's doing the call though. She's doing this fake keyboard thing, which is really distracting. But anyway, but you can see that's an example of how calling your provider can really help. I can guarantee AGL would do pretty much that that you saw, and others should probably follow suit as well. And finally, in charge of my savings. How do you get started with savings? Yes, attitude, not the amount, but there's also loans and programs that you can be part of, such as Saver Plus, which I'll talk about next. So with loans, getting a loan from a loan shark is not good, or from Nimble. But there are places like Good Shepherd Microfinance, so Nils loan. So you can get a no interest loan of up to $1,500 for essential goods, services, white goods, furniture, and education expenses. What I describe this, the way I describe this is that these are loans with a purpose. These are loans with with your client's good in mind or your good in mind. These are loans that have obligations attached to them. And generally, if you ask your clients or you think about the loans that are out there which have no obligations, that are nimble, that don't ask any questions, generally those are the more dangerous ones. So the ones that have connections to invoices. So for example, Nils, you can't just get money cash. You can't just get cash. You have to give them an invoice to buy a fridge or pay for education expenses. Once again, there's obligations there, but it's tied in. You can also, your financial counselor can also help you set up a Nils loan as well. Secondly, a step-up loan. So they're very similar to Nils, but these are low interest loans. So before Nils, you got no interest. Step-up is low interest, between $800 to $3,000. So this is an alternative to just getting a loan from a bank or anywhere else, or using a credit card. And finally, Saver Plus, where they offer $500 of match savings. $500 is a good amount. It's the amount, it's the attitude, not the amount. So 3 steps of being in charge of electricity. Make sure you know your energy suckers that are in your home. Change your lights to LED. Be the boss of your bill. A lot of you didn't know what electricity meter you have. Go and have a look at the side of your home or your unit and find out which meter you have. And then call your energy company and say, hey, how can I reduce my energy bill? Especially since I have a traditional meter or a smart meter. When you look at your bills, whether it's electricity or your phone bill or anything else, think, how much do I owe? How heavy is my usage? And how come? Why is it that the way it is? Is it a change in your circumstance at home, or is it because of the specific plan that you are on? And then finally, call your provider. So this concludes our In Charge of My Money and Energy webinar. We've looked at the 5 ways to be a little bit more in charge of your money. So what's the next step for you? being a little bit more in charge of your money and energy, what will you do today? I want to thank all of you for attending this webinar. It's been quite fun, actually, seeing all of you type in the webinar chat. And I look forward to your feedback on this webinar, on future webinars, and also your own. I'd love to speak to you about how you could do this for Lifeforce or Lifeline, for WVI, even for Central Unit in terms of training people. We are in different times now where this seems to be the setup while we can't meet face to face. So I'm happy to talk to each one of you. Here again, once again, just thinking about the things to think about when it comes to webinars. It's all up there. And I just want to thank everybody for being so gracious. I can see your webinar chat, and you have all been really encouraging. So thank you so much. And we are finished. 11:48, even though I said 12:30. Once again, I had no idea how long this would take. I was expecting technical difficulties, but it seemed to go okay. Thank you, everybody, and happy Friday, and hope to see you all very soon. At the end of this, when I close the meeting, you should get a online survey, post-seminar survey. It should appear, so please fill that out. Thank you very much.